Hello, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Tarot. Now, this is a general reading and it is open to all zodiac signs. So just take what resonates with you. It is also timeless, so anytime you find yourself watching this video, there might be a message here for you. Now, let's try to see what is the main energy for today. Okay, we have here the Ten of Wands. Right now, you're laying down something that has been a burden for you. Maybe a big responsibility, something that really took a lot of your attention. For some of you, really made you feel drained afterwards, usually. So it can be a certain responsibility that you've been taking for quite some time. But whatever effort you've exerted on it, it seems that the effort already that activity benefited from all your efforts, because when we look at the ones, things are growing already in the ones. So you have exerted a lot of effort, and all that efforts you've exerted has somehow started to have some results. But you have come to a point wherein you can now lay it down and lessen the burden that you are carrying. So you've come to a point wherein maybe you don't need to exert as much effort as you did in the past. So whatever this activity is, whatever this, maybe a relationship or maybe a certain commitment, you have come to a point wherein it's already started to grow to the point that you don't have to exert as much effort as you did in the past. You don't have to carry much load anymore. It's time for you to take a pause, lay down whatever burden you have been carrying, and it's time for you to try to see the fruits of it. When you look at the Ten of Wands, this person is laying down already these shoots, and I think he's about to plant it already. So whatever you've done, it can be that you started on a project, you did all the preliminaries already. Now it's time for you to put it into effect. All you have to do is to plant already the efforts, everything that you've done. It's time for you to plant it and to watch it grow. So the stage of hard work, the stage of maybe preparation is already finished. It's time for you now to plant it and to spend more time resting and waiting for the results to come out. So now is the time for you. You have to lessen now the effort. It's time for you to take some rest, some pause, and allow the plants themselves to grow. Allow the project to roll on its own. Allow the project also to grow on its own. And maybe all you have to do now is maintenance work, observe it more, and maybe just to keep it growing. But the main part of it, the difficult part of it, you've already done. It's time for you to take some pause. Let's try to see how this will further unfold. Okay, now you will have a lot of choices now. Whatever this one may be, also it can be a lesson in life. You might have learned also the necessary lessons now. Because of this experience, you realize that maybe the reason why you're laying down a burden for some of you, it's because now you realize it has already served its purpose. It no longer makes you happy. So for some of you, this burden, you realize, maybe you've come to a realization also that you have been carrying something for a long time, and somehow maybe you came to realize, I don't have to carry this load again, or I don't have to continue on carrying this load. So it can be also a relationship that was passionate, a relationship that was a little bit tumultuous, but you realize you deserve a more quiet life. Okay, so for some of you, maybe you are already closing something and you're not happy with it anymore. And it seems that the universe right now is offering you something new, something better, something more mellow than it was in the past. So it can be, if it is a relationship that was quite difficult and has given you a lot of difficulty in the past, made you even sad, and now you realize you deserve something better, and maybe the universe is offering you something new. It can be also a lifestyle that before you thought was very valuable and you really exerted on it, but now you are starting to realize, I deserve something better. and then now the universe is offering you something better. You are now in a transition period, or you will be in a transition period where you will have to decide which are the things that you can bring with you as you continue your life's journey, and which are the things that you know you are no longer helpful to you, and you will have to let go. Now, what is the advice of the universe for us? See, balance between your inner life and your outer life, being grounded but at the same time highly intuitive, listening to the guidance of the fish, listening to the guidance of the universe as you make this decision with the Four of Cups. Right now, you are in the process of laying down a burden which you know is no longer helpful to you, and the universe is offering you something new. In order to make the right decision, and in order for us to make the right transition also, we need to balance between listening to our inner life and at the same time being grounded in reality. We need to be firm, just like the King of Cups here has a very serious face. No, we need to be firm. I think having to be firm is, for example, if it is a relationship, to be able to say no, I deserve better, and not be afraid to do so. So you need to have good boundaries. You need to be honest about what you feel. You need to be firm also when you feel that it's really not going to be beneficial for you. So there is that firmness of the King of Cups. The King of Cups is not afraid to express himself, not afraid to say no if he feels that the answer is really no. So you need to have that courage also. That firmness of the king, but that wisdom also to listen. That wisdom to listen not only to the people, like holding the cup, listening to the points of view of other people, but also listening to your inner self, listening to the guidance coming from the universe. But at the same time, very firm, holding this scepter, very firm to implement what you think needs to be implemented. So this is what we have for our Good Morning Tarot. Let us now go to the self-care tip. For our self-care tip, the message comes from Richie Norton, and the message is: selfishness at the expense of others is bad. Self-care for the betterment of others is good. Now, this is a very good message. They say, if you want to manifest something and you don't want to encounter karma along the way, the best way is to align what you want in your life to the betterment of the whole collective. So if, for example, you want something to manifest something, you manifest it by asking the universe to make it aligned to the good and the betterment of everything around us. When we do that, then the chances for the thing that we want to manifest will be higher, and at the same time, the chances of having karma or negative repercussions will be avoided. It's the same thing also when we care for ourselves with the intention that it would be for the betterment of others, then things will be much better for all, and also, most importantly, for ourselves. Like, for example, if we care too much or give too much to other people at the expense of our health, then we get sick, then we will not be able to continue on giving good service to others. So it's very important for us to care for ourselves. When we care for ourselves, then the more we have the capacity to give to others. We cannot be a cup that is overflowing if we don't have anything else to give. So self-care is important. Now, if we look at it selfishly, like, for example, we just want to take advantage of other people. We try to be kind to other people, but with an ulterior motive of later on exploiting others or taking advantage of them. Well, that will always have a negative repercussion in the end. When you give negative things will come back to us. When we do good things will come back to us. So self-care is also important, because especially if you are a person who animates people, if you are a person who generously gives to people, the more you should spend time, the more you should dedicate effort in caring for yourself. When you do that, the more you are able to give to others. Now, when we look at the tarot card reading for today, in the Ten of Wands, the person is laying down already a burden that he's been carrying for a long time. Sometimes we need to reevaluate the situation we are in. If you are carrying a burden and you realize you don't really have to carry that burden, then don't hesitate to let it go and receive a new cup that is much better. Because if you are already burdened, you will lose the capacity to be 100% of service for others. When you're carrying a burden, sometimes also our disposition is not as positive as we can be. So somehow that less positive energy also affects the people around us. You are no longer cheerful, you are no longer able to smile, you are no longer able to laugh, and then sooner or later it manifests in your health already, in all aspects, spirit, mind, body, emotions also. So it's no longer beneficial to you, and it will not be beneficial also to everyone around you. So somehow when you look at the tarot reading, you need to re-examine your life right now. What are the burdens you have been carrying that you don't really have to carry? Maybe this is the right time for you to lay it down and receive a new cup coming from the universe. Now, you need to really take a pause, examine it while being grounded in reality. You try to see, using your logical mind, using your experience, you try to see, is this really practical for me, or should I let it go? You listen also to the guidance of the universe. Maybe right now you felt, I need to carry this, but then you realize that the universe is already creating new situations, and the universe is already leading you to another situation or another inspiration. You need to listen to that too, because maybe even if your logical mind says, hey, this is already stable, I've been used to this one, but it seems that the universe is leading you to something new. Maybe there is a need for you to trust the universe and allow the universe to surprise you. And maybe you will realize, yes, I don't need this anymore, and I need to transpose myself or transport myself to a new situation that will be beneficial not only for myself but also for everyone concerned. So this is what we have for our self-care tip. I hope that it has helped you in your present life situation. Thank you for the likes and comments you've given to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I look forward to seeing you in the next videos. Until that time, may God continue to bless your ways.